Mr. Kid?
The only other person who ever came to the bar was a snuff-chewing catfisherman with a plastic drywall bucket for a seat, a half-pound of spoiled chicken livers for bait, and a face like an English walnut. He'd sit and spit and never say a word.
Yeah.
She looked good coming down the levee. Up close, she looked even better.
I'm in Smith.
She took off her sunglasses with one hand and stuck out the other. I shook it. Her hand was cool and soft. A business hand with short, squared nails, no polish, no rings. We have an abundance of good-looking blondes in Minnesota. Even so, she was a head-turner. Green eyes with gold flecks. Square chin. A few freckles on her too-tidy nose. Surgery? Maybe. The most delicate scent floated about her, a mix of iris and vanilla.
A woman at your apartment building said you were working down here. I hope you don't mind the interruption. It's important.
I was finishing up.
I took an X-Acto knife from the tackle box and cut a triangle from the center of the painting.
She frowned, took another step forward, and cocked her head to look at the painting.
Why'd you do that? Ruin the picture?
It was already ruined. If you leave bad paintings laying around, they wind up on walls.
I tossed the knife back in the tackle box.
What can I do for you?
A job.
She answered promptly, her eyes still on the wrecked painting.
A job.
She put the sunglasses back on, hiding her eyes.
A computer job.
A computer job. I'll tell you, Miss
Smith.
I charge outrageous prices, and I hate consulting work. I can recommend a reliable freelancer.
We're not looking for bugs.
She said flatly. She opened her purse and took out an envelope.
I have a retainer here.
I tried again.
Look, I've had a good run of paintings.
She interrupted again.
Last year you made $17,000 on paintings.
She said. Her dark glasses gave her a hostile power.
That will barely pay your mortgage. You might make $20,000 this year. You spend a month fishing in the Northwest Territories. You spend another month on Biscayne Bay, out of Miami. You go to New Orleans to paint. You'd like to buy a permanent place down there. Your karate costs $1,000. You have to eat, so you'll have to take computer work. And we don't care about your outrageous fees. We can afford them.
My easel is a homemade contraption, designed to disassemble and fit in the boat. It's held together by a bunch of butterfly-sized wingnuts. As she was talking, I dropped to one knee and reached in to loosen one of the nuts and to hide my face while I thought about what she said. She looked too rich to be a cop, and she was too direct to be political. Political people ooze butter even when the knives are out. That left two possibilities. She might be private, or she might be federal, working for an agency I didn't want to know about. Whichever it was, she'd seen my tax return. That's the only place she'd find the amount of $17,000, because it was phony. I made a lot less than that on the painting anyway, but declared 17. It accounted for income that couldn't be hidden and that I couldn't afford to explain. So she had some clout. The business about a place in New Orleans was harder to figure. It suggested surveillance, though I hadn't felt a thing.
You want more?
She asked, showing off.
Your friends say you're odd. That's the word they use, odd. You have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. You have a master of fine arts in painting. You should have a PhD in software design, but you skipped your orals to go fishing in Costa Rica.
They were biting.
I said lamely, trying to slow the recitation.
That's bullshit.
She said crisply.
Yeah, but it's the simplest explanation that fits all the facts.
Occam's razor.
A good guy, Occam.
I said.
Your friends say you stay up all night and sleep until noon. You paint and do computer programs and know a lot of politicians who come to your apartment with sacks full of money, sometimes shoeboxes.
Only rarely. Shoeboxes, I mean.
She rolled on like a vandal.
Your friends say you have a wonderful nerd act. You dress up like an engineer with a white shirt and string tie, and put a calculator on your belt and 9 ballpoint pens in a white plastic pocket shield. That's how you went to the Beaux-Arts ball last year with Bet What's-Her-Name. But you don't quite make it as a nerd. You worked with the Strategic Operations Group out of Saigon during the Vietnam War. And I have a fuzzy television monitor photo of a man who looks quite a bit like you. Couldn't prove it, but it's close, going over the 3-strand wire at Belcap Microtech. He's not dressed like a nerd at all. He's dressed in an army urban camouflage suit that's supposed to be sort of secret. He left a little blood behind on the wire, type A positive, which happens to be your type. You want more?